Did you see how broken the new Boros Elder Dragon from Secrets of Strixhaven is? Lorehold costs 3, a white, and a red for a 5/5 Elder Dragon with flying and haste. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Keep in mind this is for each opponent, so up to 3 times per turn cycle. Lorehold also gives each instant and sorcery in your hand Miracle 2. You can cast a spell for its miracle cost if it was the first card you've drawn for the turn. This bypasses timing restrictions, so you could cast sorceries with Miracle during your opponent's upkeeps or on your own draw step. It does a good job of maintaining the flavor of the original Vila Makis Lorehold by making big spells easier to cast, all while beating down your opponents in the air. You might be familiar with Miracle from playing with Aminatu Veilpiercer, the face commander of the Miracle Worker precon from Duskmourn. That was an Esper commander that gave enchantments in your hand Miracle, and it's the 94th most popular commander on EDH Rec with over 15,000 deck lists. Thing is, there are way more instants and sorceries than there are enchantments, so I would say this gives Lorehold a pretty significant chance at being a very popular commander. You're gonna want plenty of cost reducers. Ruby and Pearl Medallion can shave a mana off spells of their respective colors, Cloud Key will reduce the cost of all spells with a specific type, and Semblance Anvil can make one type of spell completely free to cast with Lorehold's Miracle ability. Longshot Rebel Bowman is another cost reducer that works for both instants and sorceries, and it can be a sort of secondary win con if you cast enough spells. Of course, the main reason you're playing this commander is because you want to cheat out huge spells for way cheap, and there are a ton that you can choose from. Rise of the Eldrazi, Call Forth the Tempest, and Stormherd should get you in the right headspace. But even middle-of-the-road spells like Aloran's Searing Light and Taunt from the Rampart are well worth cheating out for 2 mana. Mizzix's Mastery is a huge finisher that recasts spells from your graveyard. You can't overload it and miracle it at the same time, but the overloaded version still benefits from all those cost reducers we mentioned before. You could get extra mean and play some mass land destruction effects like Armageddon and Yokel Hops, but I'd save that for Bracket 5 CEDH tables. And come with a plan to keep your dragon alive when you do this. The Miracle mechanic benefits a ton from top deck manipulation. In fact, there have been entire constructed strategies based around using Sensei's Divining Top to put miracle spells like Terminus on top of your library. Divining Top is probably your best way to do this, but you could consider Library of Leng, Scroll Rack, or even more jank options like Penance and Hidden Retreat to do the job. Planetarium of Wan Shi Tong gives you a good shot at hitting something great every turn, and it's a nice backup if Lorehold can't get an attack in, since it'll also cast your expensive spells for free. You could also lean into discard synergies, since Lorehold is going to help you discard up to 3 cards per turn cycle. Monument to Endurance is a big player here. It can turn your discards into life loss, treasures, or extra cards. Cool but Rude is fairly new, but it's an easy way to turn discarding cards into a real win con. Surly Badgersaur fits pretty well too. You won't be discarding creatures very often, but the treasure and fight modes both come in handy and trigger a lot with Lorehold in play. Protection goes a long way with a 5-mana commander, especially one as scary as this. Lorehold doesn't demand you play a ton of creatures, but Mother of Runes and Giver of Runes can help you squeeze in the first attack or 2 without losing your commander right away. Boros Charm is a staple in Boros decks and can keep Lorehold alive against damage or destruction effects. Super cheap instants like Blacksmith's Skill and Surge of Salvation are probably your best bet for single target protection with such an expensive commander. You could play the big protection spells like Unbreakable Formation and Teferi's Protection too, but don't overdo it since they're not great spells to miracle out. Boros decks do have a tough time against blue, so a few counterspell hosers like Red Elemental Blast and Hexing Squelcher can go a long way too. Wandering Archaic and Chamil the Inner Sun are fun options that are a little off theme but make it harder to counter your big spells. As far as ramp goes, you're going to want to run as much as possible without stepping too hard on your instant and sorcery count. 2-drop mana rocks are your best bet, like your usual Signet, Talisman, Felwar Stone, and so on. Or Rich Stalactite can ramp out your spells, and the backside is a really cool thing to work toward, but it won't ramp out Lorehold, unfortunately. Bender's Waterskin is a great fit, since it'll always give you at least 1 mana to miracle something out on each opponent's turn. Big Score and Unexpected Windfall are both great too, since they play into the other discard synergies and also leave behind just enough treasure to miracle a spell. Elegant Parlor and Temple of Triumph give you some extra top deck manipulation in your mana base, and you could even consider some colorless options like Conduit Pylons for the same reason. There are also some sweet tech pieces you can use to fill out the deck. People caught wind of a potential approach of the Second Sun combo right after Lorehold got spoiled. You can do this the honest way by just casting Approach once, rummaging a bunch of times, and casting it again a few turns later. Or you can try to manipulate your library to draw the second approach faster and miracle it out on someone else's turn. Cards like Sunbird's Invocation, Cursed Recording, and Double Vision can turn a single devastating spell into two, though make sure you don't dilute your deck with too many non-instant or non-sorcery cards. The same warning goes for copy spells like Flare of Duplication and Reverberate. Hit the Motherlode, Brass's Bounty, and Apex of Power are great in this deck since you're often paying 2 mana to get a boatload of treasure or extra mana for the turn. And since your deck is already trying to cheat out spells with Miracle, why not run some actual Miracle cards? Entreat the Angels, Terminus, Bonfire of the Damned, and Reforge the Soul all fit this deck exceptionally well. According to EDH Rec, Lorehold Historian already has over 1,500 theory-crafted decks. It's competing with some popular spellslinger commanders already, and this is all before spoiler season has even officially started. How are you going to build around Lorehold? Did you play Velomachus Lorehold from the original Strixhaven? Let us know what kind of crazy combos you're cooking up down below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Upkeep for more awesome Commander content just like this.